just got done doing that one video talking about, the movie chats for the rest of the month. And, today's my sister's birthday. It's the 6th of July. And technically it's midnight, so today we're going to the Springs to celebrate her birthday, my cousin's birthday, my mom's birthday, which is all in the month of July, and me and my sister's graduation, as well as, permits and driver's licenses, and basically a whole shebang. You have a few church members and everything there. Well, I found out, man, just got the alert, Steve Ditko died. Jeez. Can't believe that, man. The co-creator of Spider-Man. You grow up hearing about, the comic greats Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, hold on a second. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Oh, man. It is going to be a travesty when, Stan Lee finally goes. I'm going to read this real quick because it was trending from the Hollywood Reporter. Man, he also created Doctor Strange. That's true. Helped create Doctor Strange. I'm going to read this real quick. Man, normally I do a full-length video for something like this. I'll probably do another full-length, but I just wanted to read it real quick. Steve Ditko, Spider-Man co-creator and legendary comics artist, dies at 90. Also created Doctor Strange. Well, at least he got to see, them both become movies. I mean, if I created Doctor Strange, a kind of an obscure superhero, really, in all reality, Doctor Strange is kind of obscure before his movie. And I finally got to see him have his own movie. That's pretty cool. New York Police Department confirmed his death to the Hollywood Reporter. No cause of death was announced. Ditko was found dead in his apartment on June 29th, and is believed he died about 2 days earlier. How am I just now hearing about this? Or maybe they were keeping it hush-hush. In 1961, Ditko and Lee created Spider-Man. Lee, the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, gave Ditko the assignment after he wasn't satisfied with Jack Kirby's take on the idea of a teen superhero with spider powers. The look of Spider-Man, the costume, the web shooters, the red and blue design, all came from Ditko. Spider-Man first appeared in Amazing Fantasy number 15. The comic was an unexpected hit, and the character was spun off into The Amazing Spider-Man. Ditko helped create such classic Spider-Man characters as Dr. Octopus, Sandman, the Lizard, and Green Goblin. Starting with issue number 25, Ditko received a plot credit in addition to his artist credit. Ditko's run ended with issue number 38. In 1963, Ditko created the surreal and psychedelic hero Doctor Strange. The character debuted in Strange Tales number 110, and Ditko continued on the comic through issue number 146. Cover dated July 19th, 1966. After that, Ditko left Marvel Comics over a fight with Lee, the causes of which have almost remained murky. The pair had not been on speaking terms for several years. Ditko never explained his side, and Lee claimed not to really know what motivated Ditko's exit. The best explanation suggests Ditko was frustrated at Lee's oversight in his failure to properly share credit for Ditko's contributions to Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. The charismatic Lee was always the face of Marvel Comics, but Ditko and Jack Kirby thought Lee was more interested in self-promotion than selling the company, and in the process implied that he deserved a lion's share of the credit for creating the characters in the Marvel Universe. Ditko went on to work for Charlton DC Comics and other small independent publishers. He returned to Marvel in 1979, where he worked on Machine Man and the Micronauts, and he continued working for them as a freelancer in the 1990s. Among his last creations was Squirrel Girl in 1992, who has become a cult favorite in recent years. That's true. After his work at Marvel, Ditko is probably best known for creating Mr. A in 1967. The character embodied Ayn Rand's objectivist philosophy, which Ditko was an ardent believer in from the mid-1960s on. Other objectivist-inspired characters Ditko created included the Question, Hawk, Hawk and Dove, and the Creeper. Jeez, I didn't know he made these characters. I really need to dive deeper into my lore of just the comic writers and their creations, really. The reclusive Ditko was known as the J.D. Sillinger of comics from the 1970s. On the rarely spoke on record, declining almost every interview request, he sat out the publicity booms that accompanied the Spider-Man films and the Doctor Strange movie. We didn't approach him. He's like J.D. Sillinger. He is private and has intentionally stayed out of the spotlight like J.D. Sillinger. Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson told THR in 2016, "I hope he does, or he goes to see the movie. However, wherever he is, because I think we paid homage to his work." Derrickson, director Guillermo del Toro, author Neil Gaiman, and filmmaker Edgar Wright paid tribute on Twitter upon learning news of Ditko's death. Wright tweeted that Ditko was influential on countless planes of existence, and his work will never be forgotten. Gaiman wrote, I know I'm a different person because he was in the world." Del Toro shared an iconic cover to Spider-Man number 33, which last year's Spider-Man Homecoming paid homage to. Del Toro called it Peak Ditko. And there's a picture of Doctor Strange here, Edgar Wright. R.I.P. to comic book legend Steve Ditko. Beyond influential on countless planes of existence, he never truly profited from his comic creations that have lasted for decades, but his work will never be forgotten. Wow. Just want to hear. Ditko maintained a Manhattan studio until his death, where he continued to write and draw, though how much and what unpublished material remains is unknown. Comic book creator Greg Reich, and of Beyond Comics TV, struck up a friendship with Ditko over the last year of his life and would visit him in his Manhattan office, where he'd find the legendary creator well-dressed and sporting a beret. As well, he had stepped out of the 1940s. Ditko continued to work on his own creations, though he didn't share the details of them, which Wyke, who recalls Ditko seeming younger than his years. He wasn't 90. He seems like a young, cool artist who happened to have an aged body, which Wyke tells THR. Wyke recalls asking Ditko about his relationship with Lee, and says the artist looked down and told him, "We are peaceful." Wyke learned of Ditko's death when he went to visit him Friday, and the security guard informed him of the artist's passing. The security guard also told him that Wyke was one of the few people over the past 4 years the artist had allowed up into his office. Now that's got to be pretty cool for him. Stephen J. Ditko was born in Jonestown, Pennsylvania on November 2nd, 1927. His father worked at a steel mill and his mother was a homemaker. He developed an interest in comics through his father, who loved Prince Valiant, and from Batman and the Spirit, which both debuted as he entered his teens. After graduating high school, Ditko served in the army in post-war Germany, drawing for a military paper. After being discharged, he moved into New York City in 1950 and studied under Batman artist Jerry Robinson and the Cartoonists and Illustrators School, later the School of Visual Arts. By 1953, Ditko was getting work as a professional comics artist, including at the studio of Captain America creators Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Ditko came down with tuberculosis in 1954 and spent the next year recovering in Jonestown. He began drawing for Marvel Comics' forerunner Atlas Comics in 1955. He had a successful collaboration with Stan Lee at first, as the pair worked on a number of science fiction stories together. Ditko has no known survivors. He is believed never to have been married. Ryan Parker and Aaron Couch contributed to this report. Man, oh man. So that's sad, man. Another great legend has passed. We're losing a lot of great legends. I mean, in the past few years, you can think Carrie Fisher, Steve Ditko. I'm trying to think. My gosh, so many. I can't remember. I mean, if you count music legends, Prince and George Michael. Anyway, that's just sad. I thought I'd touch upon it real quick because I wanted to, and maybe I'll cover it more in future videos or whatnot. But you know, growing up with comics and all that, you know, or the little bit of comics I had, a few names I do remember are Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, uh, and man, DC. My gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts. Batman. It's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, man, what do y'all think? Man, I just want to do that real quick. Stay tuned for more videos, guys. But I just want to touch upon this because, you know, being a fan of comics, it's sad to hear that another one has passed, and it makes you think. You know, similar to how when Carrie Fisher died, you wonder like how many, you know, how much longer are we gonna have with like Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford. You know, Harrison Ford's gonna be in the next Indiana Jones movie, which I can't wait for. And then, you know, learning that Steve Ditko's dead, it makes you think, well, you know, how much longer are we going to have Stan Lee around and all that, you know, and with the actors wise, how longer, you know, hey, Stan Lee's going to die, you know, that's going to hit everyone. You're also wondering, like, how's going to be the reaction when Betty White finally dies? Jeez. Because, I mean, that old gal, she's outliving everyone. Yeah, what do y'all think? I just want to see what, just want to touch upon it. I'm late and I'm jabbering on, so I'm going to stop now. Now, decent plugged up.